masters of the elephant or the elephants? It's a rhetorical question that you do know what Allah has done, so why do you still opt for a very haughty route, somewhere you feel and you give this impression that you can bring down Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Especially the people of Quraysh at that time, they knew the truth of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's message, yet they decided to go completely against it. That's the first verse which we covered last week. Today we carry on to the next verse. أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not make kaydahum, their plotting, their planning, their conniving, their plan, Allah made it what? Fi tadlil, absolute astrayedness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it in vain. On the one hand, you have Abraha, who has this vision, this entire plan set out that I got elephants, I got an army, we're going to bring down the Kaaba so easily that people won't even realize what happened. That was their kayd, that was their plan. But fi tadlil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it weak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in vain. In another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. That the people who plot against Allah, they have a plan. وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ, and Allah has a plan, but ultimately Allah's plan will prevail. And this is something we all need conviction in. No matter how difficult it may seem, and no matter how low in our eyes it may seem Islam has gone, that Muslims are being persecuted, Islam is being vilified, the Quran is being ridiculed, we have 101 reasons to feel as though in the next few years maybe Islam will be erased from this world. Look at how much effort is being put in trying to bring it down. No matter how bleak it may seem, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to keep Islam up, there's nothing you and I or any superpower on this earth can do to bring it down. And that's the reality. Al-Islamu ya'lu wa la yu'la alayh. That Islam is always going to be high and triumphant and never will it be brought down. But the question is, what will I do to contribute towards the rise of Islam? Will I be just a spectator, or will I be used in order for Islam to rise? When I see a noble cause, will I help towards it or say, yo, you know what, it's so tough. Islam is really tough. We can't do anything about it. No, I'm going to contribute towards it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the plotting and planning of Abraha. فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. It was absolutely useless. Rather, as we learn from the following verses, not only was it useless, it resulted in their own destruction. And the lesson for us in this is, no matter how strong or mighty we may think a people are, ultimately if Allah wants them to win, Allah will let them win. And if Allah wants them to lose, Allah will make them lose. And there's so many ahadith on the subject that if the whole ummah gets together to cause you harm, they can cause you harm if Allah wants. If He doesn't, they will not cause you any harm. لو اجتمعت الأمة على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. If Allah wrote it for you, then it's there for you. If it's not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't write it for you. So the lesson that we learn from this is never despair in the mercy of Allah and never lose hope in the fact that Allah will eventually bring Islam on a rise. But the question is, what am I going to do towards that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslims. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who contribute towards the preservation of Islam. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.